Still married.
No issues at all. Still married. Even though Clara came downstairs and she's like, "Man, you're freaking loud. Will you be quiet?"
Oh,
Kids are in the
starts
house.
already. It starts.
It has begun.
It has begun.
I'm not married.
There we go. All right, so we are YouTube Live. Let me share this a little bit. Hopefully it works. Oh, boy. So, how's everybody else doing?
Bit busy as always.
Well, that's good.
But
Andy, what's tonight?
Have any of you guys seen on the Facebook Marketplace ad about those 2 Project Deloreans out in California?
I did see those. I don't know the.
They're like 20 minutes from me.
Is that right?
Yeah, 50 grand for a pair, but they look like they look like the guy won't show the frame or anything.
They need some love. 50
Yeah,
grand.
He won't show photos. Yeah, for 2 of them.
Why wouldn't he show pictures?
I don't know.
Something to hide.
I'm gonna jump off and switch to my computer. I'll see you guys in a second.
Okay.
Okay, Brandon.
Obviously, something to hide if you're not going to show the pictures that people were asking for.
Right.
But 50 grand seems pretty reasonable for 2 DeLoreans.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering how clean the frames are on those cars.
Well,
I know they've been sitting in that barn since they were new, but who knows what has been living in them, like mice.
Yeah, squirrels, mice, raccoons.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what I thought was crazy. I mean, aside from that one, but the sheriff's auction when a DeLorean went for 120 grand. Isn't that
that's
crazy?
Insane. Was that what it was? 120.
Justin, did you see that? Because that was right here in Ohio. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw. I think whoever bought it's on crack, but that's me.
Well, my understanding is a dealership bought all 3 vehicles, but I thought that was crazy that they paid that much for that car, which gives us hope, I guess.
Well, I mean, there's some history behind that car. I don't want to go through on live chat and stuff, but I know where that car came from, and it is not anywhere near, what was it, 120 grand?
Yeah, that's what the final bidding price was.
No, I don't remember that car.
That car popped up back in end of 2014, I believe, 2015 in Vegas.
Okay.
And it had some history to it.
There he is.
But I can't believe that it went for that kind of money.
Sorry, switching from phone to computer. Times. Everybody's so
Brandon, Andy says you got something new.
What do I have new? What's new, Andy?
Andy, you said you had something new tonight going on. Maybe I misunderstood your email.
Well, I had so Mr. Rice is here. He's going to talk about his 2 products.
And tonight's
right?
DeLorean live chat is brought to you by Doc's
Fusion and glazed.
Yes.
And later
Mr.
on,
Rice, you're gonna have to blend that in. You have to blend that. Let me try that again. And tonight's DeLorean chat is brought to you by
Sauced and glazed, featuring Doc's Fusion Fuel, hot sauce, and beef jerky.
There you go. I'll just.
Oh, wait a minute. Brandon missed it. Let's do that again.
It's always good, even in the afternoon at noon.
There you go.
Exactly. Afternoon and night.
And then there's Matt is supposed to pop in later, and he.
Do you have a flavor called hot pistachio?
Negative. That was a dancer.
What?
That's Brandon's former life, right?
Oh, come
Brandon?
on, tell me you don't get the reference.
I don't.
In Back to the Future 2, you've got to try the hot pistachio.
What?
Yeah, when he goes to the Cafe 80.
Oh,
it's always morning, even in
I
the
never knew
afternoon
he
and
was. I didn't know that was the line. I always thought he said, "You've got to try the hot special." He was saying
No, I thought it was the hot pistachio too.
I
I
always
think
thought
it's
it was-
probably hot special, but
It could
he
be hot
scarcely
special,
went
but
here.
I thought it was
yes,
actually
you
a
must try the hot
dish.
special. Yes, you must try the
Oh.
hot special. That's what I thought. I don't know. I never really looked at
You
the
know what?
script.
Brandon and I are gonna outrule
Oh
you
no.
2-1.
This could be
I like
So we-
pistachio better. I definitely like that
I
better.
mean, I don't know. This is somebody check the archives.
We need to get Bob Gale in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
What he wrote.
Ah,
Oh, that's good.
Bob Gale,
Don't mind me. I'm rewiring a camera while we're here.
Get Gail in here. I need his approval on my product.
So-
Yeah,
so how-
exactly.
So how's everyone else's cars doing?
Mine's doing
So
really
my
well,
car
finally.
is completely spoiled. It's got a nice garage covering flooring thing, its own little space.
Oh, she in her own garage now. No more
Oh yeah.
no more trail. Oh, look at you.
Jenny
Fancy.
is high maintenance. She's
Wow.
she's good to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How many car garage is it?
It's I guess you could say 2.5. Because
Okay.
it's a standard 2-car garage, but it's got a 3-foot extension on each side.
Do you have a little bit more peace of mind now that it's in your house, like it's not in a
Oh, hands down.
yeah, I mean I'm sure.
Well, Bob can even tell you I was keeping it at the school and forgetting to, well, I didn't say forgetting, it just wasn't locking the door. And he's like, dude, you nuts?
Oh, good to know. Good to
You
know.
insane?
Facebook Live here. Scott has
Yeah,
an
right?
open door policy.
And
mean,
Bob
good
has an
luck.
ignition key
I
for the
can't-
DeLorean.
I can't guarantee what
Oh.
state you'll be in when I find you, but I mean,
Oh, that's funny.
good luck with that.
Did you leave the keys in there too so people could take her for a test drive?
Don't worry, Scott. I'll be over there in about an hour. It's not that far for me.
Take it.
Well,
for
it's
a
not there
spin.
now.
Sure it's not. Just like the car's not unlocked or the keys aren't in
All
it.
right, yeah, exactly, Justin. See, you're with me. You're with me.
Gosh. Well,
I gotta love it.
welcome in, Matt. How's it going?
All right, good. I just got all the kids to bed. So
Yes.
that's
Hey,
the
Matt.
important part.
My favorite time of the day. I'm telling you. What's that?
Yeah. Oh,
Let's
yeah.
do this.
Hey, Matt, we wanted to let you know
Everyone
that
makes
tonight's
such a big
DeLorean
deal out
live
of that,
chat
like-
is
Just a little
brought to
bit
you
of
by
Tylenol PM crushed up in their formula and they pass right out.
Delish.
It's brought to you by Tylenol PM crushed in their formula.
Right. Not too
Yeah.
much, just a half capsule, but I don't want them to sleep.
Yeah, a little bit.
And for those of you who are Southern like me, there's a little bit of scotch mixed in with it.
Exactly.
And it tastes like pistachio.
Well, I want them to
Yeah.
take a nap, not a coma.
That's the hot
Circle.
pistachio special.
Oh man,
That's the special.
we've hit the point in the pandemic where everybody has gotten silly.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Well, Andy started off. What are we going to talk
Yeah,
about
I was
first here
gonna
tonight?
say, Mr. Rice, if you I don't know if you've used Zoom before and things, but you can share a screen if you have something up on. I assume it looks like you're on a phone, but if you were somewhere where you wanted to show off some of your products, and how to find it, and tell us a little bit about, because you have two different ones, right? It's the hot sauce and the. Well, I'll let you.
I
Go for
do.
it.
I don't have the product in front of me. I can get some.
Well, let me introduce. So this is Mr. Rice, and this is Scott's associate. You both are in somewhere Columbus, Ohio area, right?
Correct.
And so Mr. Rice does a lot of gigs with Scott when they go and do DeLorean rentals, and Mr. Rice plays a pretty good Doc impersonator, and he started his own business doing hot sauce. Doc's fuel fusion.
Fusion fuel.
I don't want to mess it up for you, so I will let Mr. Rice talk about that. So
The name of the business is Sauced and Glazed, only because my initial plan was to unveil a hot sauce and barbecue glazes. So far, I am only into the hot sauce, and then I just released a beef jerky that is marinated in the hot sauce. So I rolled out the first label of hot sauce and named it Doc's Fusion Fuel with the tagline, "Great Scott, it's hot." So it's doing pretty well, actually. I've had 3 bottlings by my co-packer, and each bottling is approximately 90 cases. Each case is approximately, it is 12 bottles. So product has moved pretty well. Just trying to pull the product out here, guys, so bear with me.
It
And
is
then
good.
just
I can
last,
attest to that. I do like hot
thank you.
sauce, and I it's really good on eggs. I put it on my eggs.
One of the first things most people think of is meat, because it's such a smoky profiled sauce. And so that was the reason that I also went to with putting it on beef jerky as a marinade. So that's worked really, really well. In fact, I just put out a second order for beef jerky. My first order was filled last month. So the jerky's done very well. Interestingly enough, there's a local brewery here. It's a micro brewery called Nostalgia Brewery, and they have a McFly Pale Ale, Marty McFly Pale Ale, and it shows Marty's legs on the hoverboard. Really, really cool logo. And I just mailed 4 empty beer cans, 2 bottles of hot sauce, 2 bags of jerky to a collector in New York. He's a huge Back to the Future fan. So my hope is to team up with that brewery and have the bottles on the table once COVID restrictions lift. But currently, they have my hot sauce in the kitchen, and they offer it as a side option for some of their spicy dishes. Now, this is my labeling. It's really kind of cool. I've got the nuclear symbol on there, very silver to represent the DeLorean.
That's cool.
Fuel.
Thank you.
I love labels like that. Shiny, silver, and radioactive.
The side panel reads 1.21 gigawatts of power were used to create this concoction of components. It may not produce a sonic boom, but it will generate a small spark inside of you. So I had fun with that too. And then the jerky label, I just had it done too. Snack to the future. You've got to love that, right? So
Yep.
it's Doc's Fusion Fuel beef jerky. And it's made in a certified plant, so it's USDA inspected and everything else. So everything's
Wow.
legit. It's fun. We sell it when we go to Comic Cons, that kind of thing. It's just really, really been a fun project to have alongside of the car when we go out, or just even for local markets that I'm in here.
And let me just
Wow.
add to that, excuse me, before we get into questions and whatnot. But I want to say just on the DeLorean side, because I realize, this being like a DeLorean chat, the time machine's kind of a branch of that. But I will say that with Bob's sauce, I can't take my car everywhere. I mean, I guess I could, but I choose not to, especially long areas. But having like a bottle, it sparks up conversation. And believe it or not, even though Back to the Future is the main topic of discussion, the car does come up, the DeLorean. In fact, a lot of people ask questions about the car and the history of it. And what's really sad is a lot of what is out there is misinformation. So yes, while this has a Back to the Future theme to it, it is a talking point that goes off into the car. And aside from it being a great sauce, I mean, I'm not just saying that because, Bob works with me, but I do agree it is a great sauce, but it enables conversation to go into a classic car. And I think Bob can contest to this as well. I mean, when we do gigs for corporate clients and whatnot, I would say about 60% of the time, 60, 70% of the time, we're talking about the car itself, not necessarily, the mod of the car, but the car itself, the engine, the design, the history. People like, oh, do they pack drugs inside the frame and crap like that? I mean, just John DeLorean himself, not that we put the guy on the pedestal, but just to kind of be able to inform and knowledge people on the car. I mean, there's just, to me personally, I think the biggest misinformation out there is the car is completely crap. I disagree with that. I think your car is as good as the person that owns it. And like for me, for example, my car runs runs great. I have no problems with my car at all. Zero issues with the car. And a lot of
I'm with
that,
you. I'm with you,
I love,
Scott. I daily
yeah,
drive, so
yeah. And to me, a lot of that I think is attributed to the original owner that had this car before me, took really good care of it. And there's a huge history behind that ownership. So yeah, I mean, Bob's product allows an opportunity for the story of the car to come out. Yes, again, I reiterate, Back to the Future just kind of started out. I mean, that's how a lot of people know the DeLorean, but that's about as far as it goes. And like, didn't that guy, sell drugs, or wasn't the car this or that? And you're able to give information. So like I said, I know he can contest to it. About 60, 70% of the time, we're talking about the car itself when the product presents itself to do so.
Yeah, that's
Mr.
well
Rice,
said.
how long have you been? When did you start all this?
So I started the sauce and jerky business. It was actually a year ago, like June, that I received
Oh,
my first bottling of hot sauce. So the company is still extremely new. I just branched into the jerky, like I said, last month, and it was going down to less than 24 bags. I started with 145, which was a 40-pound run of beef, which produces 20 pounds of jerky. So there's a lot of lost money in making jerky. And then, of course, from the time that I started the project and then COVID hit till the time that I paid for the beef had gone up. So
oh wow.
it's been a little, mind wrecking just to get to this point. But like I said, even with the COVID restrictions lifting, if that happens, then I've got a few places that are in the works of wanting to use my sauce more in a kitchen manner and on tables. So hoping that breaks through too.
Do you have I have you on Spotlight right now, but do you have a website that I can share?
Saucedandglazed.com.
Let me pull that up here. Saucedandglazed.com. Oh, look at that. Okay, here we go. Hey,
what are
Mike,
the
welcome
flavors
in.
what's the flavors of the jerky?
So the
Or
flavor
what's
is
your
just extremely smoky based. It's almost like a hybrid barbecue hot sauce. The first thing you notice is the amazing amount of smoke. The smoke presence fills a room in the flavor, and it's the first thing that hits your nose as well. The big difference between this and a barbecue sauce is it does not have that icky sweetness that a barbecue sauce has. I do use some pure maple syrup in it, but that's to lend to the sweetness and also to add to the flavor profile. I really like the flavor profile of maple syrup. All natural ingredients, no preservatives. Most of the flavors, it's tomato vinegar based. And then the heat comes from red habanero. There's hickory smoke, smoked paprika, garlic, cumin, onion, and ginger. And that's it. So it's pretty basic, but yet it's still a very complex tasting sauce.
and what is on the actual jerky? The same sauce?
It is the same sauce it's marinated in, plus an addition of salt and a little maple syrup for extra sweetness and just a sweeter flavor profile.
Awesome.
Can you guys see the site?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I can.
Here you go.
The best part's that little video clip on the right-hand side of the screen where I'm actually pouring it into the Mr. Fusion. It was
That's
just
awesome.
fun.
That had been so much fun.
It was so impromptu. Scott called me up one day. He said, "Hey, we're going to be over there. I got the car out. Didn't know if you wanted to shoot some video, take some pictures." I had just started the business, so it was totally unscripted. It was just it was fun, and it turned out really well.
Very cool. And you have an Instagram too, it looks like.
I do,
Oh,
yes.
oh, I don't have maybe a link. It says it's broken, but what is
I'll
it? Just
talk
Sauced and Grade? Sauced and
Glazed.
Glazed
Yeah.
LLC, it looks like. Let me go back. There we go. Very cool. Yeah, I have not tried your jerky yet, but I really like the sauce.
The jerky, a lot of, yeah, is very, very well liked.
So cool. Anybody have any hopefully, Mr. Rice, when we get DCS back next year, I hope, I don't know when. Hopefully you can get a little table in there, and I have a feeling you'd sell quite a bit of this stuff just because, you know.
Yeah, it's like another cool thing to have with you, even an empty bottle, it'd be neat
Yep.
to have in the car.
Oh,
I have
absolutely.
I have 2 bottles and they're both empties, but I'm not going to throw them away
Right.
I know I've had people, that's what I've had people tell me. They're like,
because they're
if I get a
collectors, you know.
bottle, yeah, people say if I get a bottle, I don't want to use it. I don't want to open it. It's like, well, I have a solution to that problem. Get two.
Get another one. Yep. Very cool.
That's funny.
And
Mr. Rice,
who
are
just,
you doing any? I tabbed out. I wasn't sure if it was mentioned or not. Are you running any specials right now with the sauce?
Not that I have online. I am going to put up a special on the jerky. The jerky is typically $9 a bag, but I'm going to do 5 bags at $8 a bag. So that'll be a savings of $5 on a 5-bag order. And as far as sauce specials right now, I'm not running any specials, but I am going to set up a combo pack offer. Of course, as you know, it's just still in the very early stages. I just added the jerky to it, and I'm a month into it and almost out of product. So
wow.
it's kind of caught me off guard, but it's been good.
It's good to be busy.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you know
Especially now.
that beer, Andy, for all you
Oh
fans,
yeah.
that should be like the beverage of choice for
What's that
these.
called again?
Marty McFly Pale Ale.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is very cool. In fact, on my Instagram page, I had posted a picture today of my Back to the Future backdrop with the beer cans, the jerky, and the hot sauce.
Yeah, I have not seen the beer yet. I've seen there was another one that was popping up, something 1985 IPA, something. I don't know what it was,
Yeah.
but
There's a
I
few
haven't
of them
seen
out
the other
there.
one.
Is it that voodoo IPA?
Yeah, that's
The
it.
guys
Yep.
over here in California did the commercial for or whatever.
Yes, yes. Nah, those I think those guys were in Chicago, weren't they?
Are they in Chicago?
And then
They're somewhere.
there was a photographer here that actually wanted to take pictures for them for the local brewery. So I got in on that, which is pretty cool. But I don't know where they're based. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is that I love beef jerky. So as soon as you get that special up, I will buy 5 bags.
Woohoo! There you go.
Sounds good to me.
Very cool.
Hey, Brandon.
There's a place in Vegas called on the way to Vegas called Alien Fresh Jerky. That was like the biggest
Yep.
beef jerky place. It's like super famous, and I'd always go there to get jerky. So I love
I
trying
know that
new ones.
place.
Brandon, are
Where,
you
where at on the way
like
to
hot
Vegas?
sauce?
Towards
I'm
Bakersfield.
not.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't do hot sauce anymore. It's a sad thing. I'm from New Orleans originally, and I would drink hot sauce like water. But as I've reached the second half of life, it rips me apart. So
That's
the
funny.
jerky's the way to go for me right now, to be completely
Wow, I
honest.
feel
To the
sorry
world.
for you. I
Second
feel so
half.
sorry for you. I just ate a 7-pot brain strain pepper pod last night for dinner. It totally tore me up.
Tell me.
One of the hottest things ever.
I used to eat ghost peppers for snacks. Like
My brother-in-law likes ghost peppers.
Well,
I don't think I've ever had a ghost pepper.
I'm the same way you are. I can't eat hot sauce. I mean, it's hot, but it's kind of more like a barbecue thing than it is kind of like really, really, really hot. You know, I think I want to make that clear. But I tell you what, when you buy the jerky, I'm going to pay for a bottle to be shipped to you. a bottle of hot sauce because I think you'll really like it.
Well,
So,
I'll
Mr.
tell you
Rice,
what.
when he places that order, you let me know and I'll cover the cost.
I'll
of
tell
the
you. I'll tell you what. I'll buy two things of jerky right now on this.
Do I
chat.
hear 3? Do I hear 3? 4? Do I hear 4? Let's go 4. Come on, 4.
Let's do two for now. All right, here it comes.
Oh, that's good.
All right.
All right. You do okay. So, Mr. Rice, put a bottle of sauce in that, and then I'll cover the expense. Just tell me what it is.
All right.
I
All right,
got a hot
and-
sauce story. One of my
Purchase.
coworkers from my work, he told me one time that some guy told him that there's one hot sauce out there that is so hot that it has a warning label on the bottle that it could make your intestines bleed. But I don't know what hot sauce that is.
I don't know if that's something I would market. Jeez.
Wow.
Order number 11634.
All right.
11634.
And I tell you what, I'll do the same for anybody else. I don't want to just pinpoint Matt. So if anybody buys two bags of jerky from Bob, I'll pay for a bottle of hot sauce and the shipping to go there to you. So if you guys want it, just do it, and then Bob, just let me know what I owe you.
Gotcha.
Down.
Scott,
I'm excited.
Scott, we're YouTube live right now. I just got 17 people that just said that they're ordering it, and they want you to pay for everything. It's on YouTube. One of them, I can't even pronounce their names. They probably in a different country, but
Well, right now,
there you
Mr.
go.
Rice is not telling me that there's 2 bags of jerky being sold. Until he sees that,
Just
they can say whatever they want.
Yeah, I got my order confirmation.
Brandon's got his. So far, Matt's just looking at me smiling. So is Mike. And Corey doesn't know what the hell's going on.
You're the future. You're the future. You're the
Well, I got a
future of
PayPal
flavors
notice
here
came
order.
up, so I know I've got an order.
That's me.
Right on.
Hey, I appreciate it. I can't wait to try it.
No, I appreciate it
excited.
too. I appreciate you passing out the word too. Let people know what you think, and
Yeah.
all of the social media attention that I can get just helps influence the business.
Well, Brandon, what I'll be interested in is if you get any, if you socialize with other people currently, whatnot. But even if it's later down the road, I'd be curious to know if you get the same response that we get when we showcase.
What's the shelf life of an unopened bag of jerky?
These have a shelf life of a year. The expiration date is 7/2/21.
Okay, so I'll hold on to one of the bags and not open it, and then when we start Orville back up again, I'll take it to set and let some people there try it.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
There it is.
oh,
There you go. I'll leave a bag, and they'll have to use tweezers so we don't break the COVID rules.
We might even see it on the show. Look, there's a bag of or a thing of hot sauce
No,
sitting on one of the
you won't-
waiting rooms.
You won't see that. I'm not Game of Thrones. My team doesn't leave. We don't
Game
leave
of
styrofoam cups in the set.
Hey, Corey.
That was classic.
Andy, I'm not hearing any other dings on that PayPal from Bob. What's with those 17 people saying they were going to
Hey,
buy jerky?
I'm just hosting it.
Lies.
I'm just hosting here. That's all I'm
Deception.
doing. I already sent Bob my price tag for using the social media. So did you get that yet, Bob?
I'm
just
looking. I'm
messing.
looking.
Oh, okay. It must not have came through yet. There you go. Well, that's cool. I mean, yeah, like I said, if we get here comes somebody.
That's me. I'm just testing to see if this crashes or not.
If we get back into
Crash. Okay.
DCS type thing, you really need to bring that stuff there. Set up a table. You'd sell out because whether people are jerky fans or hot sauce fans or not, you put something with some kind of Back to the Future something on it, and people buy it because that's what collectors do. In fact, I don't know if you're in the Facebook group. It's called Back to the Future Collectors. It's
I
just a
am.
Facebook. Okay, yeah. Have you ever put your stuff out there? Because
I believe I just posted on
they
there this
buy
past week.
everything. I mean, there's people on there from different countries that just buy everything. You know,
I didn't even know that page existed. I'll have to
it's a
check into it.
it's a very cool page. You know, just to see what kind of people collectors. But yeah, I would definitely check that out.
Hey, Matt,
Andy,
nice.
Andy, what kind of a model are you putting together there?
It's a Batmobile.
Oh, Batmobile?
No, I'm just kidding. It's a DeLorean. It's a
Oh, okay.
DeLorean.
Are you guys familiar with those Polaris slingshot vehicles? They're like a three-wheeled vehicle that are registered as a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Have you guys- Anyway,
I see them here all the time. People drive them.
fact,
They have a rental service.
on Wednesday when I was coming home from the Gilmore Car Museum from a cruise, and there was a guy driving a Polaris slingshot that was passing by me, and he was dressed up as Batman.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
wow.
funny.
Oh, that's cool. I want to see that.
Unfortunately, I didn't take any pictures of it because the guy literally just passed by me, and I was driving on the highway, so I couldn't get any pictures.
Funny.
But I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would love to see that.
Mike, I don't know if you got welcomed in or not. Mike is from San Francisco, correct? Area?
San Jose, and I'm trying to. Sorry, my connection's a little crappy right now. I'm trying to buy some stuff from Bob Rice's website.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, it's one the bottle.
Mike is also a
I
time machine owner.
Well, as
I gotta
promised,
have some
Mike,
ready for some of the shows.
I'll be
if you buy two
I'll be up
bags, I'll do a bottle there.
So wait, so I might have missed this. Are we like doing a group buy or something from Bob, or what's the deal?
Scott
Why
said he's
not?
paying for everybody. It's on the house on Scott's
Yeah.
side. He just got married. So he just got a whole bunch of money last week from his wedding. So he's blowing it all on hot sauce and
Nice.
jerky.
Okay.
I don't need to get married to
That's
do
Scott
that.
Mulholland, Ohio
just
Time
walking on
Machine
that?
Rental.
My favorite part is as like I hear Corey's distinctive voice as he literally just came in to hear that comment.
Yeah, and it's like I don't need to go get married to spend my money on hot sauce and beef jerky.
Well, Mike, I'll be up in the San Jose area next
Yeah?
week. I'm
Hey,
gonna be I'll be at Sea Ranch.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
passing through. Yeah.
All right.
Mike,
I'll text you.
real quick, who is your car? You built it or was it built by someone else, another builder?
No, I built it.
You built it.
Yeah. So it took me
Very
like
cool.
2 years to build, and it's I'm sure like most of you on the site, I've actually a few of you guys, I've actually followed some of your stuff. So thank you for having provided sort of the guidance. But after 2 years, I'm finished the first. I'm on the second now, but I've had to defer. 'Cause I'm
Second
building a
time
micro
machine?
now. Yeah.
No
I'm
way.
building-
Oh, I think you told me that. That's right.
I bought two of everything, and on the forum, the builder forum, it's like you buy one part, you can get it for 2 for 1 or something. And I went ape shit and just bought everything I could. And
So
the
you have
sad,
two DeLoreans.
Did you break into Fort Knox or something?
No,
He's living
no.
at his mom's right now.
no, I mean, out in California, I don't know how many guys are in
Except a local
California,
Y.
but the DeLoreans are actually,
I am.
they're really cheap.
I'm in
man.
LA.
Yeah, no, you know what I mean? Like, so there was a guy, and there's a few of them that have been selling for less than, 15 grand. And if you can put up a deal, and the one that I picked up, I picked up for less than that. And, parts wise, for those guys who have built them, built it, it's like $20,000 in parts.
Yep.
So
Well,
I think,
yeah.
But yeah,
I think
so
California is we have the most amount of DeLoreans, but they're in the most sun-baked condition, some of them,
right.
depending on which ones you find. But yeah, there's more DeLoreans sold historically in California than anywhere else in the world. So there's a bunch of them that have been undiscovered.
Why is
Well, they
that?
mostly show up here in Beverly Hills Park. Because
Anybody know
it was a big celebrity push. I mean, you had a lot
Oh,
of
I
people
see.
that wanted the car because of John, and John lived out here, and I think it was just it was the cool car to get before everything happened. So I think
Well,
that's,
then, the DeLorean company that shop that's set up there in Orange County or Orange.
Huntington
You
Beach.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you got that little hub there that they can, congregate around and work on, and sell and buy from, So and weren't they shipped to California from like imported?
Yeah, I mean, like,
they
I
were
think
sent
it's
to
an
the Quality Assurance Center in Santa Ana, California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
they
where
may
my
not have gotten very far.
that's where my car was shipped when it was imported here, when it came in on the first shipment from Belfast.
Wow.
see, that's
And
funny because I have a Michigan car in California.
well, my car after my car left California from the Quality Assurance Center, it was sent to Nebraska, and then then it went to Iowa, and then it came to Michigan.
Wow. All that stepping, but yeah, it starts somewhere. So that's fascinating.
I was going to
Yeah,
welcome
that's pretty
Ashley.
funny.
Just came in, but he's not at this table. But I don't know if you can hear
Yeah,
us.
my
But welcome
car.
in, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. My car was purchased in Michigan, sent to Michigan, and then it was sent to Seattle.
Where was it? Where in Michigan again?
Ah, God, I can tell you. I'll find out and let you know. But it was in Michigan, shipped to Seattle. I picked up in Seattle and drove it 1,800 miles on original fuel lines down to LA.
Oh
I
wow.
bought the car. It had 6,000 original miles on it. Now it's got 13,000. I drive it every day. So
I forget what's your
Yeah.
VIN, Brandon?
6895.
6895. Okay, so you got a very light 81.
I have literally, I think I'm 50 cars away from 82. So I have all of the 82 parts except for the hood. So I have literally the 82 console. I have the the louver vents that I redesigned, the caps, the brackets.
Yeah.
I have all the parts from the 82 parts except for the flat hood. So it's pretty nuts because I went to the Southern California Delorean owners hangout a couple weeks ago, and all the 82 and 83s have the same parts as me except for the hood.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
good. I mean, the car runs. So that's all I care about.
My VIN's 1019.
Took it to
which is a
Joshua
very
Tree.
early car.
Yeah. Well, those ones that just surfaced that the guys are selling the pair for 50 grand are
Yeah.
extremely
Yeah.
early VINs.
Is that sold yet?
Yeah.
Or is that still available?
No, I think it's still available because he's not showing photos of the frames.
Oh.
So no one knows if they're rusted out or not. I mean, in California, I would doubt they're rusted out because there's not really much humidity here.
Yeah.
But you never know. And, it's kind of followed it to a small degree, but 2 cars for 25 suddenly became 2 cars for 50. And I keep seeing things where people say, yeah, he doesn't get back to you. He seems kind of standoffish and
one,
he's
get
not
one
showing
free.
pictures. It's like,
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, didn't they start out like what, 15 grand each, or like super low?
I think it was
pair for
25 for the
15.
pair.
Yeah, for the pair. And then somebody said, "Oh, don't do that. They're worth twice that." And so right away they went up. And I'm like, "Oh wait,
Yeah,
I would have was like, oh my goodness, I can't sit back and not try, but all of a sudden it went to a realistic number." So
I think this person is they're hoping for a sight unseen sale. I think that's what they're really hoping for.
Show up
Maybe
with
an
that.
overseas one or something where it's just like, oh
Well,
my
I
God,
mean-
that's the deal of a lifetime, and I can have
Well,
2, and off
yeah.
it goes.
Let me give you my thought. The Beverly Hills Car Club has not bought those cars yet, and they buy every DeLorean on Earth.
That's the
So-
international sign for runaway.
That's my my only comment is if the Beverly Hills Car Club haven't snatched them up and sold them for 70 each, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, I wanted to welcome
So-
in Brian and Ashley. I don't know if we welcomed her yet or not, but how you guys doing?
Doing fine,
Hey.
guys. How y'all doing?
Hello.
Good.
Very good. Brian, it looks like you're in an asylum over there. Padded room in the background.
Yeah, I was going for Pink Floyd.
Oh, okay.
It was funny to watch you. You started here and you had your bottle and it was like kind of bending in, and I'm like, is there some sort of weird Inception thing going on here?
So I'm creating a part for the car that doesn't exist anymore, that's no longer available, that I'm going to put up for free for everybody next week. It's the washer hose assembly cover. If you have on your car where your wiper blades go, there's a hose. There's a clip that is no longer sold. So some of you might have it on your car. I'm recreating it and I'll be putting those files up next week. So it basically clips your washer fluid hose to the actual, it's a bracket that clips it to the actual arm.
Yeah, I
So,
still
yeah,
have
it's that long
mine.
one. Okay.
Yeah, so most people have them, but most of them, they're gone forever. The part doesn't exist. Just like the louver covers that I did. So I'll be building that and putting that file up for everybody if you need to make new ones. Because again, my end goal is to get every single part we can't get anymore. I'm going to recreate digitally, have the files available. So even if you don't want to 3D print it right now, in 10 years, if you need it, it'll be there. So stay tuned. I'll put that up next week.
Hey, Brandon.
Yeah.
Your dials are fantastic.
Oh, you put the switches on? Yeah, I gave him a set of the switches. You like the glossy ones or the all black ones?
That's what she said. Sorry.
No, you sent me the black ones.
Since you
and then,
painted and black ones. Yeah.
Right, and then what I did was I did 2 coats of my own paint that I did the louvers with, the same I had leftover paint. So
the SEM black or whatever.
They're super black now. I mean, they're like they look, brand new. I mean, they are brand new, but the black looks, like it just came out of the factory.
That's awesome. Well, that resin is able to withstand 185 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 65 degrees Fahrenheit before it shatters. It's forged resin.
That's good because I'm known to set my car on fire.
The plastic. Well, it'll outlast the plastic on your car. That's the hope.
So when my car explodes, like 3 little dials will just rolling across the street.
It'll be like Terminator. It'll be like Terminator 2. They'll just appear in reform. Yeah. So, awesome.
Hey, I had a question. Somebody was making a mention just a few minutes ago regarding their cars coming out of Santa Ana back.
That would be me because my car came out of Santa Ana, California at the Quality Assurance Center.
Yeah. Okay. The reason why I was asking is because I just was going through some of my old documents that I had since we got the car, and mine came out of the QAC at Santa Ana as well, and it was 39 years ago yesterday, and it was way billed out today, 39 years ago.
Oh wow! Happy birthday!
Shipped out. So, and then I picked it up probably about a week later, whenever it was September. September 4th. So yeah. So 39 years.
That's
awesome.
good to to celebrate. Did you drive it, or are you gonna drive it?
I drove it today. Pulled it out of storage and then brought it over to the house. So
that's great.
Pretty awesome. Grand Rapids is where my car is from originally.
Oh, Grand Rapids. That's where I live in basically. But I live in a town called Comstock Park, which is about 20 minutes to a half hour away from just north of Grand Rapids.
Well, there you go. So my car is from your neck of the woods.
So, I'm probably guessing your car was sold new at Dan Pfeiffer Lincoln Mercury here in Grand Rapids because they were the only dealer, the only Delorean dealer in Grand Rapids at the time.
It was in November '81, purchased in December '81.
Yeah, that's where Sarah's car came from too. If this whole COVID thing hadn't happened, we were planning on road tripping there.
In fact, I actually do have a story about Dan Pfeiffer. I just heard about this from my boss at my work. Dan Pfeiffer himself, he's not in the best of health right now. He's 88 years old and he's owned the business for 60 years and he's also getting some memory problems. So that's too bad for him. And my dad and I also know him too because my dad was a founding member of a military preservation society here in Grand Rapids, and Dan was one of the members too. But that organization has since been dissolved. So we know Dan.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm proud to have a Michigan car, so I will say that.
In fact, I actually do have a story that Dan Pfeiffer told me one time. One of his customers that bought a car from him a long time ago, back when the cars were new. He didn't have his car for very long. His name was John Shepard, and he used to go to this local restaurant, and he would just let people just take the car around the block, and then when they would close the doors, they would not realizing that they weren't supposed to lock the doors with the doors open, and then every time they would close it, it would just bend the striker pins. So, one time, this guy had was had done some drinking. I don't know if he was really drunk or not, but he was driving home one night, and there was a police officer following him, and apparently the police officer had noticed that the police officer thought smoke was coming out from the back of the car, and when this guy pulled into his driveway, he couldn't get out the driver's door, so then he had to climb over the console, get out through the passenger side, and then he tripped and fell on the pavement, and a police officer was holding the fire extinguisher against his car, and he says, Mr. Shepard, your car's on fire. Well, the officer couldn't tell smoke from steam at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
Man, that is too bad.
Yeah.
It would have been a night to remember
Yeah.
Yeah.
for all the wrong reasons.
Dan he also used to sell D. Tommaso Panteras back in the day too, and this was back in 2012. He gave me a ride in a 74 Pantera GTS he was going to park it out front at the Metro Cruise here in Grand Rapids, which is similar to Woodward. And so he asked me if I wanted to ride up front toward his lot, and then I said, yeah, sure. So he ended up going out one of the back exits of his lot, and he heads onto this road called Breton Road, and the speed limit is 35 miles an hour on that road. He was already in fifth gear in that car. Dan was known to have a heavy right foot, and every time when we come to a traffic light, and when it turns green, he says, better look out for the cops.
Nah. Yep.
Those were some dangerous vehicles. They were so fast. Those 351 Clevelands in there. They had problems with overheating and rusting really bad.
Yeah.
They were rocket ships.
Yeah. Yeah, those are fun cars to drive. In fact, we also do have one on loan at the Gilmore Car Museum here in Michigan, and it's parked right next to the museum's DeLorean that the museum owns in their collection.
My car's from Michigan
Very
too.
cool.
Your car's from
Is
Michigan
it?
too?
Yeah, Traverse
Oh,
City.
man.
Traverse City.
I gotta.
That's about 2.5 hours away from me, north of me.
I'm gonna have to drive from California to do a reunion with you guys, car wise, at some point.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, some of us DeLorean owners, we need to get together at some point, and just go cruising around somewhere.
Well, for me, it'll be like a 2,000-mile drive, but I'm in.
I know.
The 2,000-mile drive is the appetizer.
Right.
So,
And I drove my car 1,800 miles when I got it on original fuel lines, so I'm good.
Speaking of
promise.
meetups, let me show you guys this because
Oh,
I started this and then I kind of forgot. So it's tomorrow.
Oh man, I forgot about that too.
I created this so that I could hopefully get more people, international people. So don't feel obligated, but tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm basically opening up the room, just, like this. But tomorrow is an anniversary of when John DeLorean was found not guilty. So that was on August 16th, 1980. What did I say?
84 was when he was acquitted.
I wrote it all down, but I did this so long. Oh, yeah, there it is. August 16th, 1984, found not guilty by the courts. So tomorrow, if you would like, again, it's midday, so I'm hoping that, I sent this out. Rich actually put this on DCS's their Facebook page, and then this is also in the group chat, the group page that the Rent to Learn video chat page. So there's the invite. But yeah, it would be really cool to get in on, midday, because that's the other thing. A lot of guys, that I've met want to be a part of this, but like the Australians, it's like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't be on at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night because it's different time. So anyway, so wherever you're at tomorrow, if you'd like, hopefully I'm going to try to set it up in front of my DeLorean. But I didn't promote this very much at all. I mean, I just figured, let's see what happens. So, hopefully we'll get a couple new faces, international faces, it would be cool to meet other DeLorean owners from other countries. There's occasionally we get, we had what, 2 Australians in here, a guy from a UK, one guy from the Ireland and stuff, but it's always in the middle of the night for most of these guys. So maybe we'll see what happens tomorrow. So if you're, it's 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. So wherever you guys are in the
All right. It would be
planet.
4 o'clock. It would be 4 o'clock for me.
There you go. 4 o'clock.
1 o'clock Pacific.
Yeah. So whatever. There you go. But that's tomorrow. I forgot.
Not that, but it was 2 years ago today that DCS 2018 got started.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That was so much fun hanging out with
I
you
know.
guys.
Hey, go ahead, Ashley. Don't you just jump in?
Okay.
I love the hand ray. That's cool.
Sorry, I didn't want to talk over anybody, but when just mentioning about reunions and things like that, has there been any kind of, I guess, developments regarding, Eurofest, or I guess, are they pushing everything back a complete till 2022?
I haven't heard. Has anybody heard anything?
No.
I thought I had seen that online registration has been postponed. I think till October or November or something. That's what I last saw online.
Okay.
Did
The reason why I was asking is,
Roland talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago.
Well, the reason why I was asking is, I had the idea of, I guess, to taking my car over.
Oh,
And,
there.
just didn't know. So before all this crap took over the civilized world, so just kind of put everything on the back burner.
I'm just looking at DeLorean Owners Association's Facebook right now to see if there's anything on there. But I do remember something about somebody talking about postponing it.
Mm.
But I don't know. I don't know where.
Does anybody have any ideas if they would be interested in taking their cars over?
I know Mason talked about it, but I think I kind of talked him out of it because he's broke to begin with.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if he can.
But I don't know how
afford
much.
it.
How have you Ashley? Have you looked at like prices? Like how much does that? What's that involved? How's that work?
Either purchasing a shipping container that you have for yourself that you can use, whatever, or you rent one. My father-in-law, he does a lot of shipping overseas with materials, and they use those. So he said they're really not that expensive. You get one that's already been used and they're in great shape. You can get them in 20-foot lengths or 40-foot. So you could put several cars in easily. And but you just have to get them to a port, whether it's going to be at Jacksonville or where is it? Somewhere in southeast Georgia, or somewhere on the East Coast, and then you just ship it across. So
Savannah has a port.
That's it. Yeah.
How long does it take to ship a car from a port here in the United States to where Eurofest is going to be?
I'm under the impression it's like maybe like a week, 10 days, depending on the shipping, where you're bouncing from, and the how much they're, I guess, hauling at one time.
Any restrictions though at this time? Because it seems like, because I'm trying to pick up a car from Australia, and nope, I don't know if anyone on the forum here is from Australia, but they're saying they can't forecast how long it would take. I'm being told anywhere between 2 months to up to 6 months. And I shipped a car from them 5 years ago that took almost 6 months. So like it just depends on where it's going, where it's coming from.
We had, I think it was last week. Our Australian friend was in here.
Mm-hmm.
Mike,
yeah. Yep. But I don't know what time it is or anything there. Well, no, it was like midday. The next day, it was like 11 o'clock in the morning when he was in here.
Yeah, it was the morning for him because the sun was coming through the windows behind him. He was sitting in his kitchen.
That's right. Yeah. But anyway, he was the only Australian that we've ever had in here.
But there was a couple of Australians that came to the DCS in St. Charles, Illinois, a couple of years ago, and one of them had purchased his car through Toby and had shipped it over. So I could probably reach out and try to find out what their time frame was that they did. So I know they're very, very strict. Hearing what the guys on the World Tour, when they were dropping their cars off in Australia, the restrictions and how stringent they were with any kind of contamination in the cars. They virtually almost had like 10.
I remember that. Was that Australia that they had to? I mean, they cleaned the heck out of it, and there was still something in it, and they had to like redo the whole. Was that Australia that they were trying to get in? That was crazy. Those guys were awesome. I'd love to get Wolfgang in here someday, or some whatever.
But
he's a good guy. Where are you at? I'm looking at my grid here.
Hey, what was Scott's deal? He said if you ordered how many that he'd pay for the shipping.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm about to push the button right now, man.
I think he said shipping. He was going to pay for shipping.
I did 2 bags, and he paid to send me a bottle of hot sauce for free. That's what he was going to cover.
Really? All right.
So
if you want to contact him, it's ohiotimemachinerental.com.
Yeah. I think
did they duck out? Yeah, they ducked out.
Yeah, it's late for those guys.
Yeah.
Bob said goodbye privately to me, and then Scott left a while ago, so I don't know when.
Cool.
But there you are, Matt. I couldn't. I've got a grid here, and I'm looking, and there you are. You're in your time machine. So Matt, you want to talk about your fan blower?
Yeah.
What did you? Yeah. I'll spotlight you here, and I think you guys will find this. Matt is oops, sorry, I just muted you. I'm not a DJ, so there you go.
That's right, Matt. Shut the hell up. He don't want to hear from me.
Can you hear us? Or,
He's still muted. He can unmute himself.
Yeah,
though.
I can't unmute. There you go. So Matt is basically related to Doc Brown when it comes to building things and inventing things, and so he asked me if he wanted to share some cool stuff he's been working on.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Right. So it's one of the I prioritize everything on the car as far as what I need to work on to enjoy and drive and function. So this was the last thing I needed to work on. I'm pretty sure. No, I got one more thing. But I mean, and I didn't want to wait till winter, but now in here in Wisconsin, it doesn't get super hot. So it's like I've been living without AC for the whole time I've had the car, and it just didn't work. There was a leak in the line, maybe several, I don't know. But because I had to separate the frame twice, that requires breaking the line and seal of all that. So when I put it back together the first time, I got it to work, but I didn't hold the charge forever. Actually, not even through the rest of that year. So it's I knew that there's got to be something to look into later, which never came. and then last winter, I took the body off again and refurbished the frame again. And this time, one of the issues was that I'm gonna have to show you the parts now. I still have them out. All right, reverse you. Okay. Let's get out and look at what I got laying around. There's the entire AC housing, heater core, everything that's under the dash, kind of all reassembled. So when I realized that, I mean, I know you guys might have seen this already, but that's the ends of my heater core piping that are squished. So it's a good thing I didn't really use the heat much. Every winter, you tighten these belt clamps and, because they leak because they get loose and cold and so you retighten them all. That's what happens when you overdo it, I guess, every year. So that was one issue. But the other biggest issue with the AC system, I had to cut the fittings off of the, whatever this pipe is, wherever that is, because this goes to the condenser bottle. I think that's what you call it. The bottle that's in front of the passenger side behind the wheel.
That's the accumulator.
Accumulator.
Word.
I do not. This is one field I am not good at all. I don't have experience in. But I knew that the issue was that I had to cut it off to separate the body. It just one had to leave. The first time I did it, I had to feed the other end of this hose off the compressor off the engine. You're getting cut off. So that means basically this whole unit's useless, except for the fan and airflow. So. Of course, I take the flaps and vacuums lines and the vent that goes to the floor. You know, it's really like tucked away under there. It's like the carpet. I mean, we all know that the carpet just covers up that.
Matches the drapes. Wait, what?
Yeah, the floor section. Hold on.
Sorry.
Yeah, it matches the drapes.
Inappropriate. Inappropriate.
I'm actually, it's funny, that little part right there that your vent's going to, the rubber piece up there. Ryan Foster wants me to recreate that as a more snap-in thing so you don't have to deal with the rubber. So I'm going to build that
these?
above you.
These?
Yeah, I'm going to recreate that as a solid piece that snaps right in for easy installation and removal.
These are really funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to build I'm redesigning that as a whole new thing. So
that's cool. That's a good idea. I thought this is really, I'm like, okay, I kind of see a semi-useful assembly purpose for it, but it's like, really, well, whatever.
I destroyed mine when I was taking out my radio because I brought the radio through the vents.
Yeah,
and
that's what
those
I did.
were and those were so old and they had never been moved that I actually tore one. And so so I got 2 new ones. Someone had 2 new ones. They sent me. So I got 2 brand new ones sitting in the car right now.
Are they as flimsy? Are they still that flimsy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly how you're touching it is how mine feel. And they're just awfully designed.
I'm gonna recreate a whole new design for that. That'll be in a couple months, but maybe one of you guys can test it for me.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Just to let you know, those flaps that you're putting your hands on the top and right there, there generally is a very thin piece of closed foam padding on there, and that
there was
a secure piece on there. And matter of fact, when the actuators kick on, that you don't hear them slap, and you don't hear any kind of vibration coming through your vents when those are properly.
I can hear that. So here, this is the solenoids. If I can put my finger over it, there. It only holds it open halfway.
Right.
When I really push all the way up or down and then hold the vacuum over it, it doesn't go down. It kind of comes up halfway, and that's like that for all the flaps on this thing.
Right.
So anyway, so the point was, okay, now I got nothing in my car. So I was like, I'm at least going to try and get a fan, usefully blowing air, at least for the defrost area. So that section I took off, and it's in the car. So now we can go in the car explaining what is, oops. Okay. My phone is hooked up to this long USB cable. So, okay, I got to light it on under the dash. We can see, if you all saw the pictures of what Andy shared before I installed it. All right, I want to take this out because this is kind of neat to see without the glove box. There. So now we can kind of go into the dash. So I just decided to use shop vac hoses and pipe them to the doors and one to the the top of the dash for the defrost. So, and it's mounted exactly the same way the other fan is. So now this flap up here for what I guess it's the bilevel or the vent. This opens up to the outside air above the windshield. So hold on. I gotta get the camera in here. Very good. There we go. Well, sorry. You're getting thrown around. Okay. So that opens up. And learning about that, I took this off just to get to the screws that hold the fan in. That's the weird part. To disassemble, you gotta take this off and then you can see into this white cavity of where water would flow and drain to, which is interesting. It's just a fascinating, different world that I never really thought of or dove into of what's under the dash of a DeLorean. But so I just made this aluminum housing, and the bottom of it is plexiglass, so you can see what's inside it. Now, I still use the bank resistor spring coils for the switch settings, and it's mounted right next to the motor. Motor's mounted, the same way. So all that's still the same. So I just plug it in the same way. Now, the hole that goes to the firewall, where the lines come in and out, I had a cap off because you could really smell gas without that. And boy, you can actually see the ground through there. You can see the steering rack through that hole. So I thought, well, that's neat if I ever needed to. But and then I have this drain hose. So apparently water, if it rains really good, water will come in through the top, and it's supposed to, like, there's like a partition in the top of this white section that will prevent water from going into the fan area, but it will divert it and make it drain behind these hoses, like right there. And apparently, I found out that there's just a hole in the wall, and the water will drain right into the gas tank. There's no hose for that, at least on my car. So later I'm going to attach a hose and a grommet to divert the water away from the gas tank. So, but there's another hose that the motor has that I replaced with a this flexible hose, and it goes also more or less to the corner of the gas tank, but that actually has a hose diverting it away from the frame or away from the gas tank. So normally the housing for the fan and all that does this automatically. So there's no hose in the housing assembly, just the way the plastic is molded, and it will drain on its own. So it will normally meet up to this hole here anyway. So let me take a view down the other side. It's pretty cool. You can see to the driver's side. Really weird. It's like trying to decipher this.
I'm just impressed how wide open it is when that box is out of there.
It's amazing. It's like, oh, this is so cool. I could put like all this other stuff in there that I always wanted to, or I never thought about. Even of course, there's no radio. Now there's the defrost housing. Let's see if we can get to it. Yeah, just.
I feel like if you put an action figure of Ripley in there, we're seeing the ending of Aliens.
Yeah, this is so cool. I mean, it's like, where am I? This is so amazing. So I've been getting really good at the DeLorean yoga. Actually, you can do the DeLorean yoga now with all the foot room you have. There's a lot of foot room and headroom. If you put your head down there, you don't hit the AC stuff or the fan housing. So I was gonna turn on the fan here and show you what it sounds like, and I could put a tissue in front of it. Hold on. I gotta turn on the battery. The battery is off because it's safe and it's
now, as a side note, Zoom, when it hears an engine or any kind of noise, it normally cuts it out. So we're probably going to hear it for like a quarter of a second.
Okay, well then
go for it. Go for it.
I'll turn it down low first. Okay, so there's a hum, and so Norm, I'm going to turn the first fan. Okay, it's.
Oh, we actually hear it. Oh, yeah, no.
Okay, how about now?
A little bit.
Did that cut out?
Yep. Nope. We can hear it. I can hear it.
All right, watch it. It's blowing pretty good because I can imagine that the old fan housing didn't pump that much hard air, by the time it got to the doors. So watch this.
Wow.
Hold on. It doesn't want to. There we go. Kind of funny.
Son of a bitch, you did it.
Yeah. It works. It actually works.
It
I finally
works.
did something that works.
You bet your ass it works.
Yeah.
We gotta
So
get
let
you
me-
home.
We,
Sorry.
we gotta sneak this back to the laboratory.
Trigger.
Okay,
It's
so
just a trigger for me.
no, I'm gonna turn this off. But oops, this buzzer. So now this doesn't solve my heating problem, but which I probably will need more than fan, but at least it's better than nothing. And this week, now here's the funny part. This is like one of them, like, man, I learned something the hard way moments. I want to set this down for 1 second. I'm gonna get a flashlight because I need a flashlight for this. Which is right
The
over
seat I view of a DeLorean passenger seat.
Now I kind of feel like this is like Einstein's point of view.
I figured this is probably that was probably the view that my son had when I first got my car. He was 3 then.
So this is one of them, like, only time machine owners might have this problem. This hose is a very decorative hose, and I felt like I needed it because this side has got not much. It's different than the driver's side. So I got all this fake wire, of course, and it's got to go somewhere. But where? And this hose, the black hose, this is funny. The driver's side's got a different color. Like this is a garden hose, like a certain type of gardening water hose, not like a, what do you call it? It's not like your regular sprayer hose. It's like for bearing or something. And it's wrapped in weed whacker twine. So it gives it
Kidding
that.
me? That's awesome. I have that exact orange weed whacker stuff. I never realized that was what it was. I mean,
And it goes, and that way I created this expensive looking
crap.
hose, which isn't
genius.
But the passenger side is green. So anyways, it kind of stops short because it's like, this hose. You can get it like in the garden section, and it's really, really flexible, and it winds. It's got this winding pattern, so it stops short. But okay, but to keep it rigid and without tying it to the car, it's got a copper tubing inside. You can see that. Let me shine the light. Oh, there we go. So it keeps its rigidity. And when I was laying under here upside down, I was like, where do I secure it to? I thought, okay, there was this bracket here. Well, that's neat. Oh, how about let's stick it behind the bracket? So let me show what's behind there. When I get the light on there, that's the excuse my, I gotta do the yoga. There I am doing the yoga.
Jeez. We've all been there.
There.
If you haven't been there, you haven't lived yet.
No. You gotta do
If
this.
you haven't been there, you will.
Well.
Yes. And
That's the position I was in when my fuse box started smoking.
That can't feel good. Why are my feet smoking? Oh, damn.
Oh my goodness. So, okay, now we're gonna see obviously what's behind this bracket. That's the door switch. So this copper pipe was wedged like right against the actuator of the switch. Let me, if I could do this one hand. Okay, push the door. So that copper was somehow contacting the metal of that switch. And so the first day I went to use the fan, it didn't work for some reason. I don't know why. I think I was wiggling the wires and it worked later, but I had a new problem. The door light, the door ajar light on the dash was on and it would not go off for the life of me. I'm like, why? Why now? What fuse in the world is connected to keep that door light on? And then I would like check all the switches, the connections, and the door switches were doing its job. They would turn off the lights on the door, but it wouldn't turn the light off on the dash. I'm like, this is stupid. And so I got in here and I noticed that, oh wait, I can't even push this in like it used to, like freely, like all the way in and out. Well, this stupid copper pipe was like in the way. And, so and time machine noters don't do that. Don't interfere your time machine with the metal contacts, with any other electrical metal contacts, especially. See, I thought, oh, that's a neat idea, but then it looked like, oh wait, there's this big piece of copper showing behind this hose, so I need to jam it up somewhere out of sight, and then, so, boy, I wasted like an afternoon figuring that out, and
Matt, you may want to cover that with some electrical tape, because if something
Yep.
starts to arc off, man, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yep.
They-
Yep. I have thoroughly learned a lesson here, so I needed. Yeah, there's not much else up here besides the speaker and the wiring to the glove box. Here's the light bulb and switch. So here's a view of your glove box if you ever wanted to know.
I know what my pens and ownership feel like now, and what they
Yes.
see.
Yes, and this is a nice, comfortable position if your back can handle it. So that is the tour of my some of your average dashes. But when it comes to the heat issue, I might try an electrical type of heater, but I don't know if that would really do any good, because it's a small cabin, and yet overcoming 30-degree temperatures outside. Don't know how much the car can handle electrically creating heat. Let's see. I can't get to that. Well, let me put you down, and I'll get out and do the Delorean yoga. Getting out.
At the very least, this is very impressive.
There's one other thing, and you made a mention regarding water basically ingressing into the cabin due to the ductwork at the bottom of the windshield.
Yeah.
Everybody gets all that water over over the fuel tank and the fuel sending unit. And
yeah.
Everything. Well, if you take that access panel off inside there, just take all the rib nuts out. Take yourself some fairly dense toolbox liner. Put it up, rivet in there. You put some pop rivets in, and it's almost like a drape. It diverts all the water that's coming off there, and it shoots it behind the gas tank, so you don't get that, and it doesn't get into the frame. I've done that many years ago, so I'm sure that's something everybody's already done.
Yeah, that's a great. In other words, create a funnel or a trough.
Yeah.
So now that we're out of the car, I haven't had a chance to share. You guys recognize what's under my table?
Looks like a stainless frame to me.
Yeah. Besides the astronaut, ignore the astronaut. He's just guarding it.
Well, then we better not ignore the astronaut. He might be mad.
Yeah. This is a project I started a year ago and made this reverse engineered my frame since I've had it off twice, and it fits my car now. That's one reason why I had the body off. I want to make sure it fits and then finish it. So this has been sitting outside, and that's why I couldn't get to it, during every chat, because it's outside in the dark and the signal's weak. But it's a little, it's almost complete. I don't have the upper control arm mount welded on yet. And I think it will, this is the side. Let go, let's say here. Something like that. This could be, oh, there we go. So that has yet to get welded in. And it's a little different than a stock frame, because the stock frame's got that pipe or that threaded rod that goes into the frame. So I made an extra pocket here for the bolt to go through and a nut on the back side, or two. So you can get a wrench in there. And so there's a nice big pocket for that. But I don't know, that's where we're breaking into experimental territory.
Now, is this
And
something you might actually try to use in the future, or is this just for show?
I
For
was
fun?
mostly trying, potentially using when the day comes. I have to upgrade to stainless, or the other frame would be too far gone, which I would say would take many more years now because I've on my stock my frame I had, or the stock frame I did last winter. There was this huge rust hole right here. Actually, I mean, because the epoxy was already flowing through here, but once you get rust when in between the overlapped sheet metal, that rust was the cancer just traveling all the way down and everything underneath, so I had holes going through here and here. I would take a screwdriver, and next thing I know, I got no metal left. So it was like, okay, I gotta fix it, which I did, and the other side was fine, but I'm like, this is to preserve forever. I want to try to make a stainless frame that I can maybe possibly use. So I've checked that the engine does fit. It does, and the transmission lines up to where it may. Which what I did do is I made the copy of the mounts that would fit on the back sides. So I bolted the engine up with the transmission, and wherever they lined up, I marked it and drilled a hole for it. So now I know that it fits, and so it's made of the same thickness and same type of stainless steel. It's all virtually the same thing. I added more rolled or formed metal along the back end there to make it more rigid. This hole is oval for the piping to kind of not get so bound up tight right there. And the trailing arm bracket, this is for the other side. I have yet to weld that on.
Did you make an access panel for that accumulator? That's like
yes,
2 inches wide.
Yep. Oh, good. You can see that. Let's see here. Oh, the accumulator, which I'm not going to put back in. I mean, if I was to put it back in, it would go somewhere else. But let's see here. This is a foot long panel. Let's see, and it's bolted in. It's a bolt-in cover, and I have that hole taped off because it was outside, and I don't want everything getting in there. So yeah, this is, I should, a few mistakes were made. I should have made a universal change out shifter, link it like mounting for where the shift stick goes, but it's made for an automatic. So hold on, let me get a light again. There we go. So that's the only thing I wish I might have done different. But so these little burn marks here over the brackets for the linkage point where the rod's going out to the transmission, to the stick, there's a bracket already in there for that. But it's got a little extra metal for the way the frames are made. There's this flange that it comes down and forms out, but I got double that actually. There's a bunch of welds here. There's a formed channel, and the outsides form the same way, so they overlap in the middle and gives it more extra strength down the middle, or this way anyway. And besides that, everything else is basically made the same way, same shaped pieces. Almost the same kind of stitching welds it has right there and form. So, and then it was funny because I was trying to figure out how strong it was, or how because when you make it, this is the weirdest thing in the world. You're making these pieces. I'm like, I know this is the same thing, same size, same thickness, but this can't be it. Until it's all finished, it's like, okay, it is now the same thing. It feels the same weight. It feels like the same rigidity. But the neat thing about the engine cradle, it's got two it's got a channel. This is also stainless 1/8" thick tube here for the bolt to go through for the lower control arm, and then it'll go through the other side into this empty cavity, and then that tube goes all the way to the other side of the cradle, and that's the only difference is, that's the stock cradle is like stamped out one piece, but that's a tube with the sheet metal over, wrapped around it that makes it stronger and gives you more room around the oil drain. So that's kind of neat. But all the other pieces are made the same way. It's very rigid. I would feel comfortable with it. There's still a few more things to finish, but what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, with the lower control arms, I know that the distances and all that, aren't adjustable. So I'm going to have to, I know I'm gonna either have to make or get a adjustable control arm. I know the lower ones are available, so the upper ones would have to be either stock or adjustable, because there's no way to guarantee that everything is spot on just by measuring it off a stock frame. It's just never going to get achieved. So I would have to make sure that something's got to be adjustable. And I know that the fronts should be spot on, but something again has to be adjustable there too. I made these are solid stainless rods here just because of access to getting the steering rack in. We can even get in there. It's pretty neat. The driver's side one is formed or bent more upper, out of the way like that, so that the steering knuckle can clear that area, because it's a very, very tight spot for that steering knuckle to clear. I don't know if everybody's noticed that, but why get so close? With that nut on that knuckle gets really close to that. I'm like, well, give it a little extra room. It doesn't really matter so much. You got everything else holding everything together. So that was something I wanted to do. This rod, of course, is bolted on lower. There's this 3-inch rod that goes up, through the trunk or shaft, and then I already got one in the car that I made. This is a spare. So, and now I'm storing a bunch of junk in here right now, until I need to use it. But there's a aluminum diamond plate tank cover. There you go.
That stuff will last forever.
Yeah.
Ask any Jeep.
They look really cool if you ever looked underneath there. But I tell you, welding stainless is really different than anything than mild steel for sure. The just tack welding on the nuts were tricky, because when you thread a bolt through the nut and then kind of not too tight, tack it, and then you may or may not get the bolt out, because the contracting and expanding of the heat of the weld has seized onto the threads. So I wasn't so lucky on all of these, and I had to break it off and do it again. But well, I mean, if it don't work, it don't work. If I don't ever use it, whatever. But that's just what I do for fun, and it could be a big trophy, if anything. But
Hey, Matt, let me ask you, are you planning on maybe putting, since you're real good at doing fabrication work, have you thought about fabbing up a race?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part. A race what?
A race gas tank versus using the plastic one that we have in the cars.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I could do that.
Yeah,
it's
you
not
can right in there and get it really, laid in there really nice, and not have to. And you can build it, and since you're good at fabrication, you can put all the baffles you want and design it the way you want.
Yeah, well, where I work is we do stuff like that, not for race cars, but for fire trucks, and we weld surge tanks and spare tanks or whatever, small handheld things, and it's like, yeah, this is all scrap metal anyway, so it's not like I I spent a fortune on it. So easily could do that. And you know, that's a good. Now you got me thinking because that, you know, when I had the tank out this last time and trying to install a different type of gas tank filler. Hold on. Because my car is carbureted, and I removed, way up there is a bunch of fuel lines and piping for everything that was on the frame. So right now I got all stainless stuff on there, all piping, and it yeah, I have a video of that on my Facebook, like from last winter. Let's see if I can see that in there. It was just where the tank filler or the tank, what do you call it, pump would go. It was just awkward. I just needed to cap it and then have electric pump on the outside, piping the gas. And you know, learning it the hard way, you know, you don't know how much room you have until you put the body over the frame again. And the filler neck, you know, because the what I got was a stock type of fuel pump that any GM car has, you know, and the neck, the filler piping coming out is horizontal to the tank or parallel, and it just hits the spare tire compartment, like, and there's only one direction where it could aim at, and it was just so irritating, and I was like, this is stupid. So I was now I think about it, I would relocate that the fuel delivery axis, you know, somewhere else. So it won't interfere with the gas tank or the spare tire compartment or whatever. So, and then give maybe possibly more room or more fuel space too. So that's my newer or latest adventures in the car. There's not much left to do that I haven't done or hasn't been done yet. This car's yeah, I've done the engine, rebuilt the engine, and I have not yet taken the doors off yet for any roof box work yet. I don't need to. I've taken the T-top off before, and there was hardly any rust on it, and I've gotten in the doors a lot. I don't want to take the doors off, and I have not taken any of the body quarter panels off completely. I've taken these off, like somewhat, to work on the ball joint for the door strut right there. These Delorean Go struts are really strong, and I don't recommend them for a stock ball joint connection. But what's really funny about this is that after I was done with them, I mean, if you watch really closely, like, cord doesn't get in the way. Okay, I'm going to try and be as still as possible. And if you watch any flexing, watch what happens when I let it go. It was rock solid, and the whole car moves. So the suspension absorbs the force of this door strut, and yet it doesn't like bounce either. I mean, it bounces, but it only bounces with the suspension. So that's another long story. I could actually, if I have to unplug the cable here. So what I did. All right, so we have
Hey guys, I gotta get going now. So take care, guys.
Nice seeing you, Matt.
Yep, take care.
Thanks.
Hey Matt, did you say you got that from Delorean Go? The door strut?
Yep.
Is that the one with the I have one that I bought from them and I thought it was defective because it didn't have the you know, I don't know what company that makes it, somewhere in the UK, where the strut actually balances out, right? This one just seemed like it just shot straight up, so it didn't even slow to a pitch.
Oh, this one does slow down.
Oh, okay. Got it.
They definitely do. I noticed that when it's really hot out, and because the other strut, I've done a lot of different struts, and this was definitely strong. You know, you almost have to use two hands to shut the door, like pull on one, pull it down. You know, you can't really pull so hard with one hand, it's not enough. You have to almost use two hands. You get good arm, you get a good shoulder muscle when you do it all the time. But so with a time machine, we don't have the back cover here, or I don't. And whoops, that came out. And I don't have the hinges for the louvers either. So I just took those off. Like, oh, look at there. There are two conveniently left holes there. And I think, okay, I could use that for something. So I put this aluminum plate over that. But the aluminum plating strip there is to actually hold as extra leverage or extra strength over the fiberglass. There's that bolt right there, that is not part of the car normally. That's where that little piece of molding plastic that covers the hinge area. And I thought, okay, well, that hole lines up directly to the ball joint right there. So I made I bought a set of new ball joints from Delorean Go with everything that, I thought, I could sacrifice anyway. And a spline, it was a metric spline. And I welded this to the spline and to a plate that goes this way behind all this molding and rubber. And had to drill a hole out to the backside. I actually didn't need a drill. I just needed to make that hole bigger and line that bolt up to the spline. And so you got aluminum plate here acting as a solid rigid reinforcement to the metal plate that's behind here for those repair kits that you can buy. And so there's technically a bolt that's solid going all the way this way, kind of parallel with the all the hinges. So I got a super strong door strut pivot joint. It's just incredibly strong. So you got this kind of leverage working with everything else. If I could figure out and calculate, leverages this way, along with the force of the force of the gas strut, along with the weight of the door, and where distance of all that wood, all the leverage you can have, the better to reinforce this point right here. Now, some would say, well, just put the plate here only and you're gonna be fine. But yeah, you could, but you're talking an 1/8 inch thick stainless steel plate, that can bend versus a bolt going this way, like a 1/2 inch thick bolt. What's going to bend first is going to be the plate. If the forces are ridiculously greater, than unreasonably greater. But if we want to pick one, I would pick the bolt, just because I know it won't bend. And it's all right here. This is the end of the bolt. One end is here, the other end's here. So your fiberglass is under less stress this way than along the edge of this surface. Now that's my opinion. I would love to do this mathematically and prove it, but I am not that bored yet. But so I don't know how we got to that.
Those rear holes, I know a lot of guys use those rear holes to mount the rear sheet, right? So there's two that usually hold in the louvers that are eventually removed, the two that you were pointing out.
Yeah.
And I did that to mine because that was just an easier way to secure the rear bulkhead without actually attempting to, God forbid, weld it in. You can be able to remove it at some point. So that's interesting. And think about the pressure on that one point relative to the strut.
Yeah, but you don't think about it because most people don't, or I don't know how many people have these super strong gas struts. That's where the issues popped up to me was, whoa, you could watch it. A lot of people can watch these joints just like flex, and not that, and that's why I ended up welding that flange, that spline to the plate that's on this side to prevent any flexing whatsoever. And I was getting flexing before I welded it. I mean, even with this bolt on. So I was like, boy, there's still a little bit of play left in this. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to eliminate as much as possible. And because the little bracket, you know, it's amazing what you got to take apart to get to it. It's just like literally 2 inches long. And so between the center of that ball to the end of the nut or the ball, which is half the length of that plate, it's only like an inch of leverage counteracting that force. And it's like, boy, this is hardly anything. Of course, there's a plate on the inside of the fiberglass of the roof box or the corner here. I'm like, yeah, so you got a sandwich of a metal over a 1/4 inch thick of fiberglass. Okay, that's at least you got a 1/4 inch of fiberglass, but you want to go far and beyond in this case. You know, you want these doors are now lasting longer than, you know, that it's great that they're lasting and everything's working, but this is the one area that could be a vulnerable point. And want to eliminate that because you got everything else that's metal. You got wonderful hinge mounting, you know, below the ceiling. Actually, I took off my liner because that's another long story, but I took it out and, you know, you got this huge, you know, everybody knows how these are mounted to the cars. So it's like, these don't really break, you know, compared to this will go first. So now I feel like I can drive with my doors open going 88 miles an hour and not worry about it. But not that I will, I just thought I could.
I had to remove mine, man. Mine actually caught on fire when I was wiring it up, you know, with the old original overhead, just that material that happened, you know. And,
right.
So I have mine bare, and I'm actually replacing it out right now. I'm waiting for the replacement set from Danny Blackman in LA.
Well, I had to take it out by need because you know, you open these up like all the time, and all of a sudden one day their sound visor just came loose, and I'm like, why? Because, you know, I used the mounting bracket for my roof switch panel, and just use that for one of the points to attach to.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that can't be it. I know, and then I re-screwed it in and etc. And I was like, oh well, something's really wrong here. So you had to peel all this off, and it was tedious to you know, because it's all glued in under this door seal. So I found out
what are you using? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but what are you using for a power source for your? Because I'm actually curious to see what everyone, at least those with time machines, you Andy as well. How are you guys powering the electronics? Are you rigging it directly to
car battery?
Your battery, or
mine goes all to my car battery, which is probably a terrible idea. But
yeah, it's a terrible idea.
I've done that. Well, it's been 5 years now, so.
Okay.
Well, you've proven it to work then. So I wasn't ready enough or knowledgeable enough to do that yet, but I felt safe. I have a separate car battery sitting behind this wall here. Can
I plug something for you guys in? Because I figured something out on mine. I've been testing it out. I used to have it rigged to a second battery, and I figured I'd try one of these. Have you guys heard of Anchor?
No.
So here, let me just get in real quick. Sorry, I'm not going to commandeer this, man. I'm just going to show a point real quick. But this little car battery.
All right.
So this little sucker right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Hold on, let me get a better light here. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I know our lighting is, you know, a big deal. I have to bring it wherever we go.
Yeah, so this battery right here, can you guys see it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
This thing runs about like $500. It puts out about 500. I don't know what the watt equivalent is. I think it's 500 watts. But this thing lasts me 7 hours. It powers everything inside the car and my flux bands. And I'm not shitting you. Like, turn it on. And then I can turn on the. I can pull this thing out too. I know I'm doing a terrible job. I'm lifting my laptop, but
I can see it.
Yeah, this one little unit is powering the whole car. I mean,
that's awesome. So you got white flux bands.
Yeah, I went to Bob the Bob Mosley route, and I was talking to him, and I think I consulted with Bruce Colomb as well, and I was like, you know, what's screen accurate, and you know, both guys had different opinions, and The
So-
second car is going to be a blue one, not a white
So
one.
here's my white flux bands too.
Oh, nice.
So they're a little dim right now. That's because all the garage lights on. That when it's dark out. Hold on, let me turn this one off.
Mike, why don't I have the LEDs in my bands are the remote kind that I can change them pink and green and blue
Yeah.
and white, and I mean that's just easy, like hey
Yeah.
look, it's Valentine's Day, boom, it's all red.
I totally wanted to do that the first time around, and
Then you don't have to worry about is it blue, is it white, is it pink, is it purple. I
Right.
mean, heck, if I want to drive through a gay parade, I could just put on rainbows for all I care,
Yeah, I should have done it the first time. I was so rushed to get it in ahead of the show, and I was like, I got 2 weeks to go, and I don't know if I'm going to order it from overseas. And I bought it here locally from a guy who does electronics. He actually did most of the stuff on my car.
Yeah.
Yeah, white and blue and purple. I was like, let's go with white because it's legal in California. If I decide to ride it on the road, but
so Mike,
okay, I see what you mean.
So Mike, here's the inside behind my wall, and
oh, nice.
There's the battery. Now I'm motivated to relocate that battery just because it's stupid over the fuses. So what I did, I have like a plug bank of connections that all the different things go to, and then I just got 2 leads of positive, negative, 2, like one pole and one another that's just kind of clipped to the window area, and the glass window's still there. So then they go to the battery, and then the battery to charge it goes to the box on the outside. I got one post here. It's a brass screw, and then another post underneath it.
Wow.
Kind of right
running
there.
straight to the battery, then you're not running like an inverter or.
No.
Okay.
I tried that with the things I do with it, and I don't need it yet. So this whole panel comes off. It's just I just use wing nuts to screw it off, and then the next panel will have wing nuts to it, and then that comes off next, and then I can get to the panel for the fuses. They are the panel is the same shape as the wood panel would be. So it's I think no, the wood panel's not in there. It's just the aluminum panel, but it's got a foam padding behind it, so it won't conduct electricity if it did touch anything. And I got speakers right there where that blower fan would be normally, but so that's powered by a separate amp that hook my iPod to or a phone to, so I don't need the radio unless someone listens to radio. But if it's wireless internet, unlimited data anyway, my phone does everything for that need. So yeah, there's the 2 connections, and they're insulated. They're each is capped off so they won't touch each other. But it's all inside this empty box here, and got this big round edge for the seatbelt not to get caught on, but it still does. I'm like,
I still can't believe you used weed whacker stuff. Like I know exactly. I bought a reel, and it's like I will never ever have to. I will never go through all of this. I mean,
Yep.
It's they don't. Yeah, it's like I don't. I mean, I just do it on my yard, but I will never use all of that. And now I know exactly what I'll use it for, and I'll probably have to go out and buy more.
I know. I did.
What a great idea.
It's the funniest thing because I ran out. I bought like the shortest spool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this will be plenty. No, it wasn't enough.
That's funny.
And so this is the funny part. It's orange on this side of the hose, and then when I ran out, it turns green.
Oh. But see,
So
what's
then-
funny is when you're doing stuff like that, the only person on planet Earth that sees that is, is bugged by it is you.
Yeah, my son
and that one guy on the internet that doesn't have a car and likes to shoot at you about stuff.
Oh, I know.
There's
I'm
always
trying
that
to
one
get, like-
guy.
I'm
When
gonna
I
get that-
find him,
yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna.
I ran into
There's always one.
There's always one guy who points that part out.
Oh, your
and says,
flux capacitor isn't.
Yeah, that's all.
It's
Something's
not the
wrong with
right.
that car,
It's not.
man.
Get the. Are you kidding me?
I know. I get that.
machine ever.
I always
Yeah.
ask them to
Yep.
show me
Right.
their time machine, and then they never hear back. I never hear back.
My set
What's your
display is
stuff like?
going berserk.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's see. Where's the button? Oh, there it is. Oh, that wasn't it.
Oh, a secret button.
Yeah, this is a secret button.
Well, it's not a secret anymore, YouTube.
No, I just told the whole world.
It's being recorded, right?
Yep. It's like what, YouTube still?
We're on YouTube still, yeah. No, we don't get
Aliens are
off of
intercepting
YouTube
this.
until Tom from Arizona pops on. Once Tom's on, then I have to go offline.
DMC chat after dark.
Yes.
Exactly.
You must be 18 years or over to experience that.
He shares naughty things, so I have to not be live anymore.
Morgan Fairchild.
Nice.
There's a funny piece there that I was experimenting with. I got creative and motivated to make a aluminum door panel for the passenger side anyway, and then cover it with fabric. And the idea was to make the door lighter so that I wouldn't have to readjust the torsion bar. And it didn't work. just to sum it up, I was like, this is not working, and it's not really making it lighter either. It just was. Now I don't know what to do with it.
What you're saying is this damn thing doesn't work at all.
Yes. I had one of those moments like, this is stupid. What am I doing?
Matt, you know you should do.
How many man hours were involved before you're like, you know what? Sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, that was exactly one of those moments.
Hey Matt, you know you should do. You should make some more of those left side driver fenders.
Oh, I know.
For $2,000.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, well, gee, I got stainless, available. Why can't I do that? Well, because it's a compound shape, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody would have done that by now. But yeah, I would have certainly would love to. And then when I get down that road of thinking creatively, I'm like, okay, I got a frame. Why don't I make the rest of it? Make the underbody out of aluminum, and then make the panels somewhat fit, but they won't be this compound curve. They'll be like,
hey, Jesse's on.
Oh, everybody say good night, Jesse's wife. Jesse's out to play.
Date night must be over.
Date night must be over.
You mean date
Exactly.
day? But yes.
So did you kiss her at the end of the night, bro? Did you get some?
I'm not answering that live.
Oh,
that's good.
Because YouTube's got so many sensitive ears.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna plug my phone back in now, so
we'll just wait for Tom to get on, then we'll answer the question.
There you go.
Oh, you just missed my entire. I got to start all over now.
Start all over, Matt.
Actually, you don't have to. I have been watching the stream off and on the last 20 minutes, and out of curiosity, did you build that whole fucking stainless steel frame yourself?
I don't know if I'm at liberty to say. Yeah.
Impressive.
How about Jesse, you fucking stalker? You were like hiding out on YouTube and then came in?
A little bit.
I did see somebody was watching.
He's like, so this is what it's like to watch from the outside. No, here's what the funnier part. Imagine, okay, at work, doing that in secret though.
Why in secret?
It was on the clock.
From the wife?
No, I got witnesses. There are witnesses. They're like, and then trying to hide it out of sight. That's even harder to do in a place that doesn't have very many hiding spots. But
wait a minute, like at work?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. That makes a lot more sense.
Could you imagine? What the hell is that? It's a cappuccino machine, you asshole. Mind your business.
It was more like, you're not making that for your car, are you? I'm like, no. I don't know
car.
What's a car?
What's a car?
What is this automobile you speak of?
Sounds like a Johnny Cash song I once heard.
A horseless motor carriage.
It's more like, no, it's for my airplane, that I fly to work every day.
He probably owned it. Like, do you think I'm stupid enough to like spend company time building a frame for my own car without anybody knowing about it? Like, what the hell? You're crazy, boss. You're crazy.
Damn it! You found me. I didn't want to spoil it, but your wife commissioned it for the dungeon.
Exactly. I mean, but
Not a
but it's
frame
one of
for your
those.
car. Is OJ guilty? What? What?
It's one of those moments where you just stay late until it's done, and nobody's there, and don't sleep. But no, it took a year, and I was able. Here's the catch: you can't test fit it really until you put it under your body of the car, and so I bolted the front end in. I was like, great, it fits. It lines up to the trunk holes. Okay. Then the back end. Okay, now that fits. Okay, so they meet in the middle, where where the engine half meets the center column. That's where, okay, I found the aha point. Now I weld it right in place. So that's the catch. You kind of use the body as the jig, and guarantee that it fits. And then you take the body off. Then I set the stainless frame aside until whenever, if ever. That's just it's more like insurance. It's like it will be around until I really need it, and I'm not going to spend $10,000 on it either.
Oh my goodness.
And it's of course hidden in the garage. No, it was outside. I moved it inside to work on it, and also I got other projects going on outside that I need the space for, which I will cover later in another episode. So yeah, right. Again, here's where it meets up, and so I was able to weld part of that and play at least the inside of it, and then take it out, and it didn't move. Of course, it held its position, and then when I was out, I was able to weld it much more thoroughly and added a bigger plate on top from one side to the other, this triangle shape, and that's just for extra strength. Now, I don't know if you guys might shed some light on the issue of what's stronger, stainless steel or mild steel that the frames are made of.
Well, you tell us.
I would, right. Well, the debate would be, in my experience, is shock forces versus just regular, shearing forces and shock forces versus just bending slowly. That's the catch. Is like it needs to be tested, and for a lifetime. That the car would drive through potholes. It's like, what would give first if it were to give. I know that shock towers would be a great place to improve its design and strength, but when that we got this bar here that helps, and you got that guy, that Delorean Mongoose guy in California. Remember Andy? Yeah, he was. Yeah. I was looking at his page. I didn't quite see what I wanted to see, but he cut this. What did he do? He cut this off. He's not using the top of the shock tower for the shock. The shock is bolted to the actual pivot point of the upper control arm. So that just eliminates a lot of this and probably makes it better. I mean, I want to say it's just hard to think even beyond what this already is. So, and I can still add more room for improvement as it is. I'm just sure, but I just started with the stock design first, and then add later. But then I was thinking, wouldn't it be great to have a cross member here from anywhere that's not interfering with the control arm, but from here to here. I marked somewhere. I think it was the driver's side. Maybe it was right here. I marked with a marker where the body is exposed or where it meets up, and then you got all this empty space, and then you got where the body now covers up the frame. And I was like, well, you got that bottle here for the AC that's right behind the wheel. Well, that's in the way. If I were to add something, and then the driver's side's got the steering shaft that's in the way, and I'm like, well, I can't install the steering shaft if there's this big steel cross member in the way. So it's limiting to what could possibly fit under the frame, under the body to improve the frame itself. And so I want to say again, the shock forces on stainless is slightly less forgiving than mild steel, but again, what is the threshold? I don't know. It's very close. I want to say the numbers are different, but they're not drastically different, as if it was aluminum, that would be another world. So I'm not in a hurry, I say, to use this frame. I was thinking, well, wouldn't it be cool to put a bunch of weight on it, the weight of the body, and bolt it where it goes, and distribute the weight where it should be, and then do a bunch of crazy testing, uh, and see where it would flex, and then or do a bunch of shock vibrations, or just crash the frame. I mean, just actually do it, and just see what would happen on a stainless frame.
That's super fucking cool, dude.
It would be, but there goes my frame. I mean, nobody's got a stainless frame to donate to do that. And
so let me ask you this: in your car right now, do you have a frame, or is this?
Oh no,
like you don't? Oh yeah, obviously you do.
I mean, this is something I did when I restored the frame over the winter, and I'm like, okay, well now I gotta separate it. This is a good time to like study the stock frame, reverse engineer it, and you should have seen it. I had made a life-size cardboard drawing of the frame. And it was to the same scale, so I would physically measure everything and lay it out on the floor and draw it all out, and then figure out the geometry, and then make patterns, and then trace it on the stainless steel and shear it and weld it, and then bring it home and then weld it more. So it was like a crazy all winter process, which took I started Christmas after Christmas break, and then got it done February, and got the car driving by right before COVID hit. So that was a pretty good time spent of really cold temperatures outside, but my garage is insulated, but it was still cold, on the floor. And I have this storing the propane heater right in the gas tank, but that's just funny. Drawing all this on the cold floor. Right now it's like really hot and humid in the garage. It's like awesome compared to what it was. So I'm just rambling now. But any other questions or thoughts, or like, don't you dare use this frame. This is stupid.
Matt, you're the Bob Lazar of the DeLorean owners. Do you know who that is?
No.
He's the guy that supposedly reverse engineered the crashed UFO that the government found in 1947. His job was to reverse engineer anti-gravity and all that kind of stuff. So
Oh man,
I think that's you.
I think I could do that.
Yeah,
Now.
see. Oh.
I want to do that. I want to make like a fresh DeLorean from scratch. Actually, aluminum underbody would be a nice idea, but just to be stronger. But yeah, it's got different drawbacks. Because then I was thinking, well, what about all the electrical grounding contact points? Because it's designed to be in a body that's not electrically grounded. So that's why the frame is. So would it be easier to shortcut all that and just use the underbody? But the aluminum. Oh, the other problem was that, that stainless is almost twice as resistant to electrical conductivity than mild steel. So any grounding that's going to the frame, you're going to have to either boost the power through the frame or figure out a better way to transfer power to where it's going, because you're going to see a different electrical conductivity probably. And I'm sure that the DeLorean, the DPI would know about that issue. I don't know what they do or if it is an issue. I know it's got different properties. And okay, so that was one drawback I thought about. But anyways, with the aluminum underbody, it conducts electricity better than stainless, but it would make it, I would say it would probably be heavier. But yet you would have a stronger roof and windshield frame and roof box, more rigid in that area. Exactly. And trying to think what else.
Gosh.
But then I don't want to spend a lot of money on, I don't know any more than I have to. But this is me daydreaming again. So okay, I'm done daydreaming.
Just do the underbody all in carbon fiber.
Yeah, that's somebody that suggested I do that too. So then I thought, oh, wouldn't it be really cool if I can get a spare underbody to reverse engineer, and figure all that out and make a jig and a mold, etc. I mean, just the world of reverse engineering that underbody for the need of what you need and make improvements, or probably add more, channeling or tubing along the hollow cavity along the door, bottom of the door to make it more rigid. Just to add that extra safety factor too. So, of course, that's another world I have yet to learn of. Anyway, I haven't touched that. So, but I have friends that have, so that would be neat. But again, to do it, to say, yeah, to do that and to think about it is another two different things. But that's a good idea. I want to. There's a lot of wants, and limited to DeLorean, because as a backup car, because the value, the really the value you have is like, you drive it in the outside world, and the outside world is dangerous, to this car, and unless you're in a safe place, whatever, it's just, you want to have the backup car to get, to not worry about. So like what Mike has got 2 cars, 2 time machines, which is, so you got one nice one and maybe one that you could just drive and enjoy and not worry about. So
the other one in the shop right now, I'm just starting it, but I've so I'm working on the kit car right now, which is right behind me. Just wondering if you guys can see it.
Oh, look at that. Here, let me spotlight you.
That's a beautiful background.
Yeah, thank you. Got all the electronics behind me here.
That's also a beautiful background. It's like a happy place.
Yep.
Wow, look at that.
And just,
so, Mike, do you build these and sell them, or what do you do with them?
No, I only have the 2, well, 1.5, because the other half is still being done.
What's your future plans for them?
I don't know. I wasn't, I've had offers on the other one, but, and actually this might be an interesting time to bring this up. I don't know if you guys have been keeping track of the prices of DeLoreans, but you guys saw that auction that happened, was it last week or week before?
Yep. We just talked about that, right?
The auction?
Yeah. $112,000 for
that wasn't even that car wasn't even built to last, basically. Right. It was, so right. Yeah, the thing that sold that car was the media.
Yeah.
Right. Every single article that you see, it was Marshalls are auctioning it off. DeLorean, what was it? The Ghostbuster car and
Batmobile.
That was thanks to the media. Everybody knew everything about. If you're gonna try to sell your car, I would call somebody that works in the news and commit a crime. That might help too.
Hey, I know somebody that works in the news that owns a DeLorean too. So.
Oh yeah, Ty Butler.
No, you might know him, Andy. This is Zach here. He's in Minnesota now. He's a good friend. Hold on, this is embarrassing.
In the news?
No, yeah, he works in the news.
A DeLorean?
Yeah, but he just a sec here. Just a sec. Let me see if I can go to my page. This is embarrassing.
It's all right. He's probably listening right now.
And once I see it on my friend list.
Probably we were friends.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't even remember my name.
I know. Hold on. This is so embarrassing. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Why? Oh, there it is.
I'm sorry, whoever John, you are.
What's his name?
It's John Robles. John Robles.
I never heard of him.
Name rings a bell.
He lives in Vegas?
No, he lives
wait, where do I live? Minneapolis. Sorry, I always forget that.
See, you can't feel bad now. You didn't remember someone's name. Andy forgot where he lives.
I can't remember.
He's a part of the Minnesota club, I want to say, and he.
James, you talking about Roland? Is it Roland?
No, Robles.
Oh, Robles. Okay.
Yeah, he just moved to Minneapolis like last year, and give or take, I mean, really recently, and transferred to a news channel. I think it's CBS, maybe
Oh,
a
that's cool.
major network. And he his DeLorean Safari. Now Steve Rice knows him because his car is in Louisiana right now, and his dad's working on it, and it's not running right now. But his dad was working on it, so they're gonna get it transported. He said he's gonna try and get it, I think next year or soon. And when he does, yeah, you'll probably be more active with his car and with the community there in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
So he was at DCS a lot the whole time. And
say his name again.
John Jon Robles.
Oh, there it is.
And he just, here's a neat thing. He was FaceTiming me in Louisiana.
I sent him a friend request.
Oh yeah, do that. He knows who you are, Andy. So I mean, he remembers.
Well, I am kind of famous, Matt. Come on.
I know.
Ask Justin. Ask my co-host down there.
Exactly.
It's true.
I have many.
It's like D-list celebrities. So.
I have many leather-bound books that smell of mahogany.
That's awesome. So he's showing me. He was able to get a house, and he's got a garage now, so he's got a spot already marked. Just marked for his car to come. And
is he stock or DeLorean? I mean, he's stock or time machine.
He's stock right now, at this point. But
okay.
He just wants to get it running, and we did a live video like messenger chat, with his car when he visited his car in Louisiana. So I got to see it online, but his dad are just doing all these tours of what it needs and issues, etc. And he actually has a spare door, so that they had to replace. And I think it got dinged up or wrecked a bit, and just on the door, passenger door, I'm like, ooh, bring that door with you. I want to learn how to work on that door, or repair it. And on a banged up door, it's like, well, I got nothing to lose, just sitting there. So I'm like, this would be awesome. I'm like, please bring that door. I want that door. But
that's cool. I'd like
trying to brag on him.
Yeah, I'm always. In fact, a couple of days ago, I just found a new, not a new DeLorean owner, but a DeLorean owner in Minnesota that I didn't know, and I added him to he didn't know that our club existed and all that kind of stuff. So
that's always fun.
I love that kind of thing. It's like the hunt. Like, yes. What? You don't know that there's a club? Yeah, come on in. So we're having
that's how you talk to people, Andy. I feel like you act like you collect them. Like, you belong to me now, and the club.
Yeah. Welcome to DeLorean Pokemon.
That's generally how it works. Hey, speaking of, oh, wait a minute. Okay, so I think we got to end our chat live now because introducing Tom from Arizona is in the house.
Oh, thank God, I can be myself.
Awesome!
Now.
Finally, we can get off this YouTube live shit and talk about some real good shit now.
Tom's here.
Becoming a member of DeLorean Chat After Dark, please.
Oh, Morgan Fairchild, I'm telling you.
And